Donald J. Trump has exploited social media like no other American president, using it as a springboard to change policy, as a cudgel against critics, and as an outlet for self-affirmation. He needs to tweet like we need to eat, said Kellyanne Conway, his White House counselor. Along the way, he has lent credibility to unsavory Twitter accounts through his habit of retweeting posts that catch his attention, seemingly without regard for who is behind them or their motives. In 3 articles, The New York Times analyzed Mr. Trump's posts, studied the accounts he follows, and interviewed dozens of administration officials, lawmakers, Twitter executives, and ordinary Americans caught up in his tweets. Here are some of our findings. Over half of the president's more than 11,000 tweets are attacks, aimed at everything and everyone from the Russia investigation and the Federal Reserve to black football players and Amazona's founder, Jeff Bezos. But in more than 2,000 tweets, Mr. Trump has cited one person for praise, himself. Early in Mr. Trump's presidency, The Times learned, top aides discussed asking Twitter to impose a 15-minute delay on his account, not unlike the 5-second naughty word system used by television networks. But they quickly abandoned the idea after recognizing the political peril if the idea leaked to the press or to their boss. Twitter accounts tied to state-sponsored propaganda operations in China, Iran, and Russia have directed thousands of posts at Mr. Trump. The accounts frequently promoted conspiracy theories or support for Mr. Trump's policies. One wrote, "We love you, Mr. President," Mr. Trump retweeted it. The president has retweeted at least 145 unverified accounts that push conspiracy or extremist content, including more than 24 that have since been suspended by Twitter. Among them are white nationalists, anti-Muslim bigots, and adherents of QAnon, a conspiracy theory involving satanic pedophiles and the deep state whose followers have been labeled a potential domestic terror threat by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Much of the questionable material Mr. Trump recirculates comes from the steady flow of tweets, about 1,000 per minute, that tag his handle, but it also comes from the tiny number of accounts that Mr. Trump follows and that make up his curate feed, just 47 at present, most of them members of his family, celebrities, Fox News hosts, or Republican politicians. Some of those people, in turn, follow Twitter accounts that promote QAnon, express anti-Islam attitudes, or espouse white nationalist views. Thought because he doesn't like to wear the reading glasses he needs to see his iPhone screen. Instead, the president dictates tweets to Dan Scavino, the White House social media director. Sometimes, Mr. Scavino prints out suggested tweets in extra-large fonts for Mr. Trump to sign off on. Mr. Trump's Twitter habit is most intense at the start of the day, when he is in the White House residence, often watching Fox News, scrolling through his Twitter mentions and turning the platform into what one aide called the ultimate weapon of mass dissemination. Nearly half of his attack tweets were sent between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m., time that he spends mostly without advisors present. The president has bragged 183 times about his crowd size or applause at events, attacked immigrants 570 times, praised dictators 132 times, and called the news media the enemy of the people 36 times. On 16 occasions, Mr. Trump referred to himself as everyone's favorite president. According to data from YouGov, which polls about each of the president's tweets, some of the topics on which Mr. Trump gets the most likes and retweets jabs at the NFL, posts about the special counsel's investigation, unfounded allegations of widespread voter fraud poll poorly with the general public.